Let's watch the majority report. Sam and Emma go from excited to disappointed on election day. Let's take a look.
I've felt more confident than what the national pollsters have said for quite a while, but I don't want to count my chickens before they roost.
And by the way, this is a video they did that day, and then later it'll be a watch party where they see the results start to come in.
Former Trump officials, cabinet members, are coming out against him now. And I don't care about these people beyond the fact that, you know, I don't care. But it's indicative of like the normie Republicans who are horrible in and of themselves.
Are you kidding me? The normie Republicans he thinks are horrible in and of themselves. I can only assume he thinks even worse of the Trump Republicans. I mean, this is the modern left, people. Just a complete dislike for over half the country. This guy's not 20 years old. He doesn't look that old, but maybe you can look past that take if you're in college and you're trying to be edgy. Ridiculous.
Administration. They have already figured out who they need to bring in. Trump already knows what he can get away with. There is one political party that is identitarian, and that is the Republican Party. Is it 8?
Yeah, the Republicans are the party obsessed with identity. Give me a break.
86%, 90%, I don't know what the latest is, white party. We need...
What is the point of even bringing that up? I'm so glad the society, lots of people are willing to now call that out. What's the point of even bringing that up?
It's that women are pissed. And there are going to be a lot of, in my view, older women that see the rights of their daughters and granddaughters slipping away, that are Republican women and independent women. That will be the deciding factor in this election. So I posted my map on Sunday, I think. I think she sweeps all swing states. It's all 7. And I also think she wins Iowa.
Okay, so to that map. F it. My final election or electoral college prediction is that Harris sweeps all 7 swing states and ekes out a victory in Iowa. That Selzer poll, which I'm going to show later in the video, it was such an outlier. So many people were so happy to believe that. They wanted that to be true so badly. My only reservation is that I don't want to jinx the results, but I'm trying to avoid the trappings of magical thinking. This is my honest assessment. And then here's the map. Democrats 325, Republicans 213, as you can see here. Wisconsin, blue. Michigan, blue. Pennsylvania, blue. North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, blue. And yes, she does have Iowa as blue. One of the worst maps that I have saw. It's not as bad as the map I covered in a different video where I think her name is Nomiki at Rising had Kamala at 394 electoral votes, but still, it's pretty bad.
Like, I truly think that this is going to be much more like Obama '08 than 2016 or Obama. You know, the dynamics are
I mean, I can't hold my laugh, and that's so funny. Obama '08.
Closer to an Obama 2012 race because she's basically a new figurehead at the top of like a campaign that was set up to run for an incumbent.
And aside from just the Electoral College, there were a lot of pro-Democrat calls here in other races.
I think the Democrats take back the House fairly easily.
Republicans are projected to keep control of the House of Representatives, handing the party total control of Washington.
And have around a 12-seat advantage.
Anybody else want to go next? I mean,
I'm not predicting.
I have been saying.
Also, I think Sherrod Brown wins. I totally disagree with John on that.
This is incumbent Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown losing his seat to Republican challenger Bernie Moreno in Ohio.
But I am even more convinced that the Democrats will hold on to the Senate.
Decision Desk HQ projects the GOP has won a majority of seats in the next Senate.
But I think Ted Cruz is going to lose.
A huge victory here in Texas.
I think Americans, a certain cohort of Americans, have an easier time acting on their misogyny than they do on their practice of white supremacy. And
I mean, stuff like that just has to continue to be mocked at every turn. It got way too popular saying ridiculous stuff like that in recent years. Come on, dude.
in some weird way, I think that dynamic it's counterintuitive, but may have blunted some of the misogyny in that people are afraid to feel like they are racist, particularly in an environment where Donald Trump's racism is so overt and grotesque and obvious.
And to your point,
I mean, you said it's counterintuitive. It's counterintuitive because nobody knows what you just said there. Do you know? Let me know in the comments. What was that?
what swing states do you think she wins and loses?
I think she wins the 6 swing states.
Okay, and now we're at their live watch party, and as you can hear, they are speaking to a crowd.
These pollsters are afraid to come out and maybe make some of these proclamations. They're baking in a core Republican support, shy Trump vote that I just don't think exists anymore. I think we're looking at more of a shy Harris vote, independent or Republican women that are afraid to maybe tell their husbands. That's why that ad hit so close to home.
Remember this ad? I mean, ridiculous. Oh, I'm going to vote for Kamala, but I'm not going to tell my husband. What a just legitimately creepy thing for the Kamala campaign to be promoting. I really disliked these ads.
And a reminder, the conditions in this race are not favorable to Republicans. That's what's been driving and what was driving our coverage about trying to force Biden to drop out. Have you guys met a Trump supporter in 2024? They're not shy. They want to tell you. They put 1 million signs out on their lawn. This is a party that is only appealing to its base. And we saw that in the final weeks of the race. We saw that with the Madison Square Garden, basically
most diverse Republican Party in decades.
Ode to the Nazi rally from 85 years ago. I mean, they were deliberately invoking that and saying everything that they could about Palestinians, about Jews, about, of course, Puerto Ricans, infamously. Vance and Trump are net negatives. Anybody that's analyzing this race honestly and not like afraid of Trump voters would favor Harris and Walz in this race.
Okay, so clearly the point I think has been made that Emma and Sam, the Majority Report, is incredibly optimistic and hopeful about a Kamala win. Let's see what starts to happen as the results start coming in.
Sherrod Brown is up by 3 against Bernie Moreno.
This whole stream, they were very concerned about this Ohio Senate race.
So if that result continues, Sherrod Brown would need a significant amount of split tickets, but he has done that many times before, so I'm not that worried about that one, to be honest with you.
Sherrod Brown losing his seat to Republican challenger Bernie Moreno.
Reminder that when Arizona comes in, we're not going to know Arizona for 48 hours. So just throw that out. But essentially,
I want everyone to know just how much Emma and I are going to lib the out if Kamala Harris wins.
Oh, I've already started and she hasn't won. Yeah.
Like, we're just gonna go and it's okay to be excited about the first female Blasian president.
This projection right now, CNN projects that Texas will go to Donald Trump. The state of Texas has expected Donald Trump.
So if you're the vice president, that's part of your base. Here's Donald Trump with a lead, 41% reporting. Again, should the Harris campaign be nervous? Both campaigns will be nervous about battleground North Carolina. It's going to go back and forth.
So by this point, the general mood of their stream had gotten a lot more negative. There still is some optimism, some cope, as everybody says lately, but pretty negative in general.
So this is what we said was going to happen when we started the show, but it's also just happening in front of our eyes, and it's also
extremely painful.
The
polls were right, weren't they?
Yeah.
And how close it was going to be.
Yeah. Look, maybe I'm not.
The polls were not correct. This election was not particularly close. The polls didn't expect Donald Trump to sweep every swing state by a pretty good margin, too.
We have some unfortunate news from Decision Desk that Harris has lost North Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to, because late deciders are reportedly breaking for Harris by double digits. So the red mirage situation could be very much more, pronounced at this time. Well, at least maybe Seltzer was onto something. Harris is up in Iowa with the 19%.
Yes. I love it. I've been waiting to see that one. I've been waiting to see if that happens.
Yeah, so 19% reporting, I mean, that's not insignificant.
In Polk County.
No. Before it said 19%.
Sorry.
The reality of the race right now is that it's not the blowout that we could have, anticipated or should have been.
Kind of is, just in the other direction.
Right now in Ohio, 70% in. Sherrod Brown is down by almost 6 points.
It's awful.
It is.
And so here's the classic from a lot of these left-wing streams. Oh, but she can still win the blue wall, and she could still win. I mean, I understand why they would be saying that. It's just still funny to watch back.
Hopium, as they say, but the blue wall is really what Harris does need to win the presidency.
To the Democratic coalition right outside, right across the river from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Iowa.
So Democrats.
No kidding.
What was the, who called it?
NBC just called it for Trump. So it turns out that Seltzer may have been an outlier.
And of course it was an outlier. Ann Seltzer and Tony Hinchcliffe with his Puerto Rico joke got liberals' hopes up like nobody else did in the final week or so. Look at these polls out of Iowa just before the election. Trump +8, Trump +7, Trump +7, Trump +9, Harris +3. This is the Seltzer poll. Which one's the outlier? It was an outlier before the election too. It's incredible just how many liberals bought into that poll so badly. They wanted Ann Seltzer to be so correct. It's so funny still to look back on.
Yeah, people might have been reacting to Bernie Moreno being projected as the winner against Sherrod Brown.
They're saying Brown lost, if you didn't hear. Yeah.
That's really, I was so confident that would not happen.
And like I said, I do not know why this stream was so focused on that Ohio Senate race. There was a lot of mention, and I guess they'd be disappointed when their person they want loses.
Right now, Trump has the Times just called him winning North Carolina. So it's going to come down to the blue wall states and the Sun Belt. The good news is that Harris is doing fine in the blue wall states and overperforming thus far in Arizona. I think she wins Nevada, and when I look at
this is an absurd analysis at this point in the election. Overperforming in Arizona, and you still think she's going to win Nevada? Again, this late into the night, I don't know what numbers she was looking at based on that statement.
At it and I talk it out loud. If she wins those 3 blue wall states, she wins the presidency, and then there's the cushion of Nevada and Arizona that we'll see. But still, it's depressing. After all of that.
Again, I don't know where she's getting that from, that she thinks those 5 have a realistic shot of being won by Kamala. She was a long shot in every single one of those states at this point in the night. To think that you're going to win all 5 at this point, I don't get it.
With the late deciders, with the freaking Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden, for it to be this close, with abortion on the ballot, with January 6th,
it's not close.
It's the Democratic Party has to reckon with itself. But if you have a question, pop right up. Yeah.
I like your optimism.
Is that how that came out?
Of course that's how it came out. You said that she's fine in the blue wall. You think she's going to win Nevada, and she's overperforming in Arizona. That's clearly optimistic. That's the White House. That's game over for Kamala. That's not how the election was at all at this point. Of course that's how it came out.
No, I'm not feeling good right now. I don't think you're. No, but I think you're.
What do you mean, me neither? Then what did you just say? Was everything that you just said just completely detached from what you actually think or feel? That little statement there, that little rant, made no sense.
Well, we're going to give it a couple more minutes. Look. Not the way I wanted to wrap up the evening. This is going to go late into the night and probably into tomorrow morning. I think, if we're lucky, it's going to be a tense couple of days. And then hopefully, well, we'll
4
see.
years.
Okay, so as Sam alluded to there, they ended their stream, that watch party, before there was an official result, at least one they were comfortable with. I mean, I don't know the exact timing. Maybe Fox had called it, maybe not, who knows. But I'll finish the video with one statement, one from Emma and one from Sam about their thoughts post-election.
If you talk to women and their reaction to this race, if they're not somebody that supported Donald Trump, they instinctively feel like this was a misogynistic result. And that's a big part.
Blah, blah, blah.
Part of it. It's not the main part of it, but it's a big part of it.
I think,
and they ran and
cool story. If Democrats keep thinking like this, they're going to lose in 26, 28. Continued.
You know, I don't know if people were as shocked this time as they were, frankly, in 2016. In many respects, this time around could be a lot more problematic, and last time was very problematic. We're going to be spending the next.
So I think there's no secret that both these hosts of the Majority Report are not pleased with how the election turned out. Trump won the popular vote, won all the swing states, the House won Republican, the Senate won Republican, and for whatever reason, they were very upset that Bernie Moreno defeated Sherrod Brown in the Ohio Senate race. So anyway, with that said, I'll finish the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have a great day.